MacLeod. MacLeod and McLeod are surnames in the English language. Generally, the names are considered to be Anglicised forms of the Scottish Gaelic MacLeod, meaning son of Loud. One of the earliest occurrences of the surname is of Gillandres MacLeod in 1227. There are two recognized Scottish clans with the surname: Clan MacLeod of Harris and Skye and Clan MacLeod of Lewis and Raasay. The earliest record of these two families, using a form of the surname MacLeod, occurs in the mid-14th century. There are also documented cases of Scottish missionaries in Canada using MacLeod as an Anglicization of the indigenous Cree language name Mahkiyoc, meaning the big one. People with the surname MacLeod, McLeod. A. MacLeod, 20th century, Canadian politician from Ontario. Anna MacGillivray MacLeod, Scottish professor of brewing and biochemistry. Aileen MacLeod, Scottish National Party MSP. Alan Arnott MacLeod, 1899–1918, Canadian recipient of the Victoria Cross. Alexander MacLeod, 1796–1871, Scottish-Canadian sheriff acquitted of murder charges in connection to the Caroline Affair. Alexander Samuel MacLeod, 1888–1956, Canadian artist. Alistair MacLeod, 1936–2014, Canadian author. Ali MacLeod, 1931–2004, Scottish football player, manager, and manager of Scotland team. Ali MacLeod, born 1951, Scottish football player, Welsh football player, all player. Andrew MacLeod, born 1966, humanitarian expert and CEO. Andrew MacLeod, born 1976, Australian rules footballer. Angus MacLeod disambiguation. Angus MacLeod disambiguation. Brian MacLeod, born 1974, Canadian politician from Manitoba. Charlotte MacLeod, 1922–2005, Canadian mystery fiction writer. Clarence J. MacLeod, 1895–1959. Cody MacLeod, born 1984, Canadian professional ice hockey player. Colin MacLeod, 1909–1972, Canadian-American geneticist. Cynthia H. MacLeod, born 1936, Surinamese novelist. Dave MacLeod, born 1978, Scottish rock climber. David MacLeod, born 1971, American football player, all player. Debbie MacLeod, born 1972, Scottish field hockey goalkeeper. Donald Bannerman MacLeod, 1887–1972, New Zealand physicist. Donald Friel MacLeod, 1810–1872, British Lieutenant Governor of Punjab. Donald Kenneth MacLeod, 1885–1958, British Army officer with the British Indian Army. Duncan Lloyd MacLeod, 1874–1935, Canadian politician from Manitoba. Duncan Stewart MacLeod, 1854–1933, Canadian politician from Manitoba. Manitoba. Eddie MacLeod, 1900–1989, New Zealand cricketer. Eddie MacLeod, footballer, FL 1930s, Scottish footballer. Erin MacLeod, born 1983, Canadian soccer player. Fred MacLeod, 1882–1976, Scottish-American golfer. G. Scott MacLeod, born 1965, Canadian multimedia artist and film director. Gavin MacLeod, 1930–2021, American actor. George MacLeod, 1895–1991, Scottish churchman, founder of the Iona community. Haggis MacLeod, contemporary, British juggler and comedian. Henry Dunning MacLeod (1821–1902), Scottish economist. Herbert MacLeod (1841–1923), British chemist. Hugh MacLeod, footballer 1907–1929, Scottish footballer. Hugh MacLeod, politician 1843–1879, Canadian lawyer. Hugh MacLeod, rugby union 1932–2014, Scottish rugby player. Ian MacLeod disambiguation. Several people. Ian Borb MacLeod 1392–1442, Scottish clan chief. Ian Sire MacLeod 1330 1392, Scottish clan chief. Ian Norman MacLeod 1913–1970, British politician. Ian R. MacLeod, born 1956, British science fiction and fantasy author. Isael MacLeod, born 1984, British footballer. James MacLeod, 1836–1894, Scottish-Canadian pioneer and RCMP commissioner. Jeanette MacLeod, New Zealand mathematician. Jenny MacLeod, born 1941, New Zealand composer. Joan MacLeod, born 1954, Canadian playwright. John MacLeod, basketball 1937–2019, American basketball coach, ball coach. John MacLeod, footballer, born 1888. John George MacLeod, 1915–2006, Scottish physician and writer of medical books. John James Rickard MacLeod, 1876–1935, Scottish biochemist and co-discoverer of insulin. Joseph MacLeod, 1903–1984, British poet, actor, playwright, theatre director, and BBC newsreader. BBC newsreader. Karen MacLeod, 1958–2021, British long-distance runner. Keith MacLeod, born 1979, American basketball player. Ken MacLeod, born 1954, Scottish science fiction writer. Ken MacLeod, born 1948, American Buddhist teacher, writer, translator, translator. Kevin MacLeod, born 1972, American composers, American composers, Kevin S. MacLeod Sevio, C.D. born 1951, Canadian Secretary to the Queen of Canada. Lynn MacLeod, born 1942, Canadian politician from Ontario. Malcolm MacLeod disambiguation. Several people. Malcolm MacLeod, clan chief 1296–1370, Scottish clan chief. Malcolm MacLeod, scientist 1882–1969, British scientists. Malcolm MacLeod, politician from New Brunswick, Canada. Malcolm MacLeod, former rector of the University of Edinburgh, Margaret MacLeod, died 1993. 1893. Marilyn MacLeod, born 1939, American songwriter and singer. Singer. Martin MacLeod, 1813–1860, American pioneer, trader, and territorial legislator, 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 Larial legislator. Mary MacLeod Trump, 1912–2000, Scottish-American philanthropist, mother of Donald Trump. Mary MacLeod, actress, 1937–2016, Scottish actress of the theatre, film and television. Mary MacLeod Bethune, 1875–1955, American educator, 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 cater, educator, cater, educator, 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 American educator, 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 cater. Moira MacLeod, born 1957, British field hockey player. Mike MacLeod, born 1952, English long-distance runner. Tince runner, rinse runner, rinse runner, rinse runner, tince runner, rinse runner, long-distance runner, rinse runner, long-distance runner, rinse runner, rinse runner, long-distance runner, long-distance runner, rinse runner, long-distance runner, rinse runner. Nathaniel William Hamish MacLeod, born 1940, British Financial Secretary of Hong Kong, 1991–1995. Neil MacLeod, field hockey, born 1952, New Zealand field hockey player, field hockey player, field hockey player. Neil MacLeod, politician, 1842–1915, Canadian politician from Prince Edward Island. Nicholas MacLeod fell, 1868–1889, Scottish businessman and missionary. Norman MacLeod disambiguation. Several people. Norm MacLeod, born 1904, an Australian rules footballer. Norman MacLeod, 1812–1872, a Scottish churchman and writer, son of Norman MacLeod, carried Nan Gatehill below. Norman MacLeod, Canadian businessman, a president of the Liberal Party of Canada. Norman MacLeod carried Nan Gatehill, 1783–1862, a Scottish churchman and writer. Norman MacLeod, journalist, born about 1967, a Scottish television presenter. Norman MacLeod of MacLeod, 1812–1895, the 25th chief of Clan MacLeod. Norman Z. MacLeod, 1898–1964, film director, Omar MacLeod, born 1994, Jamaican hurdler. Sir Reginald MacLeod of MacLeod, the 27th chief of Clan MacLeod. Roderick MacLeod disambiguation. Several people. Roderick MacLeod, Alberta politician, 1959–1963, Canadian politician. Sir Roderick MacLeod of MacLeod, the 15th chief of Clan MacLeod. Rodney MacLeod, born 1990, American football player, Rory MacLeod, singer-songwriter, born 1957, British folk singer-songwriter. Rory MacLeod, snooker player, born 1971, English professional snooker player, Euchre 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 player. Raasay MacLeod, born 1975, former American basketball player, all-player, all-player, all-player. Sarah MacLeod, born 1971, New Zealand actress. Sarah MacLeod, musician, singer, Australian singer, former frontwoman of the Super Jesses. Scott MacLeod, disambiguation, several people. Scott MacLeod, 1914-1961, U.S. Department of State official. Scott MacLeod, ice hockey, born 1959, Canadian ice hockey player, Scott MacLeod, rugby union, born 1979, Scottish rugby union football. G. Scott MacLeod, born 1965, Canadian multimedia artist and film director. Shane MacLeod, born 1975, Australian news correspondent. Sheila MacLeod, born 1939. Stuart MacLeod, magician, born 1982, Scottish magician. Jean MacLeod, born 1962, British ambassador. William MacLeod, disambiguation, several people. William Claridge MacLeod, 1365 c. 1402, Scottish clan chief. William Dub MacLeod c. 1415-1480, Scottish clan chief. People with the given name MacLeod, McLeod, MacLeod. MacLeod Bethel Thompson, born 1988, American football player. Norman MacLeod Furs, 1829-1903, a British mathematician and university administrator. Norman MacLeod Lang, 1875-1956, a Bishop of Leicester. Fictional characters with the surnames MacLeod or McLeod. Athol MacLeod, from the historical fiction series The Fairies Saga, Book 1, 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 1, Book 1, Book 1, Book 1, Book 1. Claire MacLeod, from Australian television show MacLeod's Daughters. Colin MacLeod, from Highlander, Vengeance the animated film. Connor MacLeod, from the Highlander films and television series. Duncan MacLeod, from the Highlander films and television series. Fergus MacLeod, the real name of Crowley, from the television show Supernatural. Jodie Fountain MacLeod, from Australian television show MacLeod's Daughters. Justin MacLeod, from the film The Man Without a Face. Owen MacLeod, from Highlander the Game. Quentin MacLeod, from Highlander the animated series. Rowena MacLeod, Crowley's mother, from the television show Supernatural. Sarah MacLeod, from Highlander, the animated series. Tess Silverman MacLeod Ryan, from Australian television show MacLeod's Daughters. Similar names. MacLeod surname, references,